All right, I'll start with the injuries. A lot of the same as the other day. Mims hamstring, Perriman knee. He should be back on Saturday. Just kind of we got the swelling down. Just trying to ease him back in. McDermott knee, Adams hamstring, Deshier hamstring, Poole, Farley with the hamstring, Burgess with the low back, Franklin Myers with the groin, Jabari with the quad, and then today Basham had an ankle in one-on-ones, and then Cager had a knee and kind of came down weird, so we're just checking him out on the sideline towards the end of practice. We got a lot of work to do, a lot of improvement, situational awareness. We got to get really sense of urgency's got to go way up on that. You got to understand, when we're doing these periods in practice of how this is going to affect in season. We don't have preseason to work out any kinks. We got to get it done now. That would be really the number one thing that we have to do is our sense of urgency. If it's high right now, we got to get it up even more. Understanding that the window's closing quick. So with that, whatever you guys got.
And with regard to what you just said about the sense of urgency needing to be to go up, is that just because of where the calendar is right now, or or is it lacking?
No, it's just where the calendar is. It's just everything we do situationally in practice, it's going to matter. We're not going to be able to spend every day on the exact same situation. So whenever we have these situational type periods, we got to make sure we understand why we're doing it, what's going on. We got to listen to what's being said. We got to take it from the meetings to the field. Like, we got to make them count. And sometimes we get into that whole training camp routine thinking like, hey, this will come up again. Well, we don't have the preseason games to work on a 2-minute and a half, or work on using our timeouts in those situations and all those type of things. So we gotta be on it.
Where are you at right now, Adam, in terms of going through things for a second time or a third time? Like, where are you at in kind of the installation stuff?
Yeah, I feel like we've been, this much of the installation that we have in right now, it feels like we've been going over it forever. If you think about in the spring, we got so much more time with our players meeting-wise that you just keep going back through all this stuff. And now that we get to practice it and then review it, study the film, make corrections, run it again, I do feel like there has been a lot of things that we've been able to repeat first, second, and third down in red zone. So, play-wise, we got a good amount in. Really it's just going to be like kind of those one-offs at this point. But, I think that's probably been the positive that I can take out of kind of how things have gone so far with the schedule, where I feel like lack of knowledge is not one of the issues. It's just going out there executing at a high speed and making sure that we're detailed in what we're doing.
Adam, what did you think of some of the catches your receivers made there today? Cager on the sideline, Barrios on the final play. Have you seen some of those guys stepping up here with opportunities?
Yeah, I feel like any of those guys that have gotten opportunities have done a good job. They're light in numbers. I know it feels like they're taking a lot of reps, but this group's a put your head down and work type of group, and it's a fun group to be around. They just want to get on the field. They want to contribute. Those guys kind of can see the numbers and are fighting for those spots, and nobody's taking anything for granted.
Can you assess Mike White so far? It seems like he's getting some opportunities with the twos, and also handicap. You have kind of an interesting quarterback situation, from 2, 3, 4. So maybe you could just assess that.
Yeah, it's obviously with Joe being out right now, these guys are getting a great opportunity of getting a lot of reps. I think Mike came in and really, at least from the way I see it, he didn't gain a bunch of weight, but he looks thicker, he looks sturdier. The way he's throwing the ball is coming off his hand really well. He's making great decisions with his reads. He's made some really nice throws. He's got really good pocket presence. he's really, I mean, not being able, I mean, you're watching the scout team last year, you know, it's completely different, you know, having him in training camp and seeing kind of how far he's come in such a short period of time. I've been really impressed with how he operates. You know, David, knowing the offense, that's always the big plus for him. With he doesn't have to think as much. He knows a lot of the, you know, steps down the road where he can be ahead of everybody. And you know, when he's gotten his opportunities, I feel like they both have really had, you know, a lot of good completions. We've seen a lot of opportunities in the pocket to see how everybody moves. And it's going to be one of those ones where we're just going to keep battling it out and see who really is going to be the guy to, you know, however this works out. I don't know where Joe is exactly, you know, on the timetable. I don't want to put a date on that, but, you know, those two guys just got to keep battling it out. And James we just keep bringing him along. I mean, he predominantly played in the shotgun in college and really all. So, I mean, there's some new stuff there, and he's shown some abilities and some throws that have been really, really impressive. I mean, he's got a really strong arm and he's extremely smart. I love the way he operates in practice. I mean, he doesn't let any rep go by without him at least getting some kind of mental or physical rep.
Adam, can you talk a little bit about Barrios? It seems like he's now strung together a couple decent practices in a row since he came back from those personal days, and just where you envision him within the offense aside from just behind Gase.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the guy we have playing in the slot, you know, I mean, I feel really good, you know, where Jamison is, and I think it's rare that you're able to find a guy that can contribute on special teams and you know, be involved in the return game and do what he does, and he does it as well as he does. And to have another guy, if something would happen to Jamison, that I feel really comfortable in putting in the slot and knowing what to do and making plays and finding a way to get open. I mean, just seeing that kid play in college, you know, down in Miami, I feel like I've been watching him play for a long time. So when we were able to get him last year, I was excited to get him on our team. And, you know, now seeing him healthy and going out there and compete the way he does, I mean, he's a competitor, man. He plays like he's 6'4", 230. I mean, that's how, in his mind, I think that's how he views himself. So, I mean, he gets after it every day.
And you and Joe talked a lot in the last year about culture, about the culture you want to build here. How do you kind of weigh, you know, talent versus culture? Because there's some really talented players in the NFL who maybe not be the best locker room guys. How do you weigh that, and how do you see culture manifest itself, like right now in your training camp?
Well, I think, you know, the first thing we talked about was making sure the locker room was right, making sure those guys are all working together. You want the kind of locker room when adversity strikes, you're looking for the guys that are going to put their head down and go to work, not the guys that are going to kind of get in little cliques and talk amongst each other and, you know, disrupt. That's why I love this locker room right now, man. These guys just work. You know, they look for solutions. They don't look to be a problem. They want to try to find a way to put us in the best position possible. And really now, when you get that group like that, and then it's, you know, our job as we move forward is make sure that we bring the right guys in through the draft, and that we're smart in free agency and bringing in guys that have the kind of track record that we're looking for. And I feel like we've added guys like that. Like the free agents we brought in, they are guys from winning programs for the most part, guys that have done a lot of good things in this league, that have come in this locker room and been, you know, a positive influence, help guide the younger players. The guys we drafted, it seems like those guys, everybody's the same. Everybody's focused on one thing, and that's how do we put ourselves in position to win. And, you know, the more guys we keep adding like that, that's going to give us the best chance possible to win games.
We'll take a few more for Coach.
Adam, this might be just kind of bookkeeping and stuff at this point, but a couple days ago you guys worked out on Kevin White. Is that something you guys are pursuing, or is he in like the COVID obstacles he's got to get over?
No, I mean we haven't made any moves. I know you know, when we get opportunities to work guys out, we're going to work guys out and really just be ready to go if we need somebody. Obviously, the way the wide receiver room has been going so far, where it seems like something happens every day so far, that, you know, we just got to make sure that we have our, you know, everything lined up as far as if we need to bring a guy in, who would be the next one in.
Adam, it looks like Chris Hogan might be working with Sam Darnold for the presumed start in offense. What have you seen from him recently that's made you comfortable putting him up in the depth chart?
I think he's just competing against him for so many years, just knowing what he brings to the table. He's a quick study. He's able to translate a lot of the things that he doesn't necessarily know verbiage-wise into things that he's done in the past. There's a lot of things he does know already because there's some crossover between New England and ourselves. So some of it's been easy for him to go out there and play fast. He's a guy that has an act to get open. He uses the right techniques. He's a competitor. I love the way that he plays, the way he practices. There's something about him that when you get around him, you can feel it. He plays aggressive. He plays angry. He wants to be on the field, and I respect him a lot.
And what
you guys like about Pete Guerrero, the running back you brought in today?
Yeah, I mean, this goes to kind of what we were talking about just a minute ago with working guys out. He was a guy we worked out. His name came up, and then Josh goes down, and then we weren't sure how long he was going to be out. We thought, we liked him the workout, so we brought him on board.
Adam, some teams are allowing fans in the stadium in the fall for games. Some teams are not. What is your opinion of that?
I mean, for us, we're going to focus on us. It's uncontrollable. I'm not worried about it.
Adam, if I can ask about maybe building off Kaz's question about culture, Marcus Maye and what you've seen from him, particularly any change since Mosley opted out and a little more ended up on his shoulders.
I thought Marcus towards the end of last year was one of the guys that I noticed that was, really kind of stepping to the forefront. I thought he was a guy that was vocal. He does everything right. He competes at an extremely high level when we get into games. He competes extremely hard in practice. I just seen a growth more than a change than anything. You can see he's more and more comfortable every day of, hey, when he needs to speak up, he does. He's always one of those guys he talks to me a lot, during practice, let me know that we're not going to do anything on offense. So I love the energy that he brings. I love the way he's practicing. He's doing a lot of different things. He's an extremely smart player, and he makes a ton of plays in the ball. And it's fun watching him do what he does during practice.
Coach?
I got one quick question. I was wondering if you and the team, or if any leaders of the team, have had any discussions about what happened with the police shooting in Wisconsin over the weekend, if that has affected your team in any way.
No, we haven't had a chance to meet with our team yet. And today, at some point, I'm sure I'll get with Jaime and Joe and Christopher's in the building. So we'll kind of talk about our next step for our squad meeting, what we're going to talk about.
Is that it? Okay. Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys.